So like I've told everybody in the past, when you've been coming, do what you feel comfortable with. Just because I'm doing something doesn't mean that you have to do it or feel like you can try to do it if you can, but don't overextend yourself. So let's get started. Don't need to keep talking as much this time. We've been doing these things for a few weeks now. So I have my feet about shoulder width apart, my knees slightly bent. I'm going to raise my arms up to make a Valentine heart shape. I get to the bottom of that point. I'm in front of my own heart. I'm going to push down. So the reason for doing this is to open up your lungs, expand your chest, take in a deep breath, push the breath out. So I'm going to inhale through my nose, exhale through my mouth. Chin up a little on the inhale, chin drops a little on the exhale. The reason for that is to open up the airway. Like when you perform CPR, you have to tilt the head upwards if someone's laying flat, so as to open the airway more, and breathe out. Now I'm working my way from my top of my body all the way down, so the next thing is to relax the eyes. Let your vision go blurry, just focus on your body. Next thing is the tongue goes up when I inhale, tongue goes down as I exhale. So now my arms and shoulders are relaxed. You'll see me oftentimes do that little sway back and forth. Anybody know what a pachinko pinball machine is? You know what a pinball machine is? You hit the flippers, the ball eventually is going to go to the bottom and kind of like go down the drain. A pachinko machine sits up, and it's kind of got the same idea where the balls go down eventually to the bottom. You try to keep them from going down. So I picture in my thought a lot of different images of what I'm doing with this. So to go back and forth with that little sway, I'm really trying to bring my weight down to my heels as I'm doing that. Even though you see my arms and my shoulders move, it's kind of a progression all the way down to my heels where the weight should end up. So just a reminder, as you see me doing that throughout, it's not that I've got an itch or something. I'm putting a conscious effort to do that to help relax, settle the body. All right, so let's try a couple more times. Inhale, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So now I'm down to my midsection. I want to pull my stomach muscles back when I push the breath down and out, and then relax the stomach when I breathe in. And breathe out. It goes off once a minute, so breathe in. And breathe out. So if my knees are slightly bent, that allows me to rotate my tailbone just a little bit tucked under and forward as my knees are bent. So I got my feet shoulder width, knees bent, shoulders relaxed. Breathe in. Squeeze the stomach. And breathe out. So now it's like I have a ball in between my knees, and I'm just trying to hold it up. I'm not trying to squeeze it in, I'm just trying to hold it. So just a little bit of tension going in towards the center. And breathe in, and breathe out. So after we've been doing this maybe 5 or 10 times, it should start feeling like a wave from the top of your body, working your way down, all the way to your heels. Then I lift my toes so as to be able to kind of tap my feet. And if I can lift my toes, that means most of the weight's on my heels, so I'm going to squeeze my toes into my shoes. So even though we're in this position here and doesn't seem like we're doing much, it should feel like you're stable. If a big gust of wind came in the room right now, it shouldn't be like you would just fall over. It should be more like I'm anchored. My center of gravity is low, the weight's in my heels. So let's try 3 more, deep, and a little bit slower. Let the wave go from the top of your body all the way down. Again, breathe in. And breathe out. So with each breath, we're more relaxed, more comfortable. And breathe in. And breathe out. Great. So now we can go on to the next thing. So is anybody new for the first time today? You're here for the first time. Anybody else? So now's the easy part. If you've come, you can kind of see what the pace is and what I'm doing. I'm not going to all of a sudden get stones and start throwing them at you because you're not, doing the exercise right. I don't jump around the room. I won't jump around the room adjusting you either. I do pretty much everything. I'm just going to stay in the front here. So those of you who've been coming, you kind of know what to expect. It's just a different set of exercises, different explanation maybe with something that we're doing. So let's go on to the next thing, which is to go a little bit wider. This is a horse stance, like we're sitting on top of a horse. It can be all the way from being narrow to wider, and then also lower. So do what you can, kind of a little bit wider than your shoulders. And let your toes just point ever so slightly out. Cross your arms. Make a big circle. This time I'm going to bring my hands to my hips and then push forward. My hands will turn over at the end and make a W shape. So again, here we got my arms crossing all the way up to here. When my hips drop, my hands drop. When I go to straighten my arms, I'm going to straighten my legs and make that W shape. So look at it from the other direction. Each time we do these things, I add more and more to it. So now I'm reaching for my opposite foot. I'm dipping my chin and then raising my chin. Arms sink, hips sink. Straighten your legs, straighten your arms, push your breath out. So I'm going to do 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I'm using just a minimal amount of tension to stretch, to hold my arms up, to sink down. If you can go wider, you go a little wider. But that's also going to allow me to go a little bit lower. And then slower coming up. However slow you go down, you take the same speed to come up. So once again, now I'm going to relax, let my shoulders sink, and reach for my opposite foot. Do that little shift back and forth. I'll feel my back, my neck. And then up, inhale, exhale. Look at how much lower I ended up going that time because my feet went wider. Inhale. Last part, exhale. So that was number 1. Number 2, anybody remember? Hands straight, little roll so your thumbs are down. Inhale again as you open up your shoulders, your chest. Come in here, make a diamond or triangle shape. Push down and breathe out. So my arms come up, my legs straighten up. Here's a little flick. Inhale, exhale. In, out. In a lot of these hand positions, it's for increasing the blood flow, getting the energy moving all the way down to your fingertips. And then some of the shapes are just because it's a little bit easier to remember. There's a triangle. You come down and breathe out. So if I put the 2 together, I come back to here, make the big circle, and down. Push forward, and breathe out. Next one, thumbs down. It's like I'm opening up the big curtain in front. And breathe in again, and then out. So that's 1 and 2. Number 3 is to pick up a box. Like in that same spot, we lift it up, we get to our shoulders, a little flick with the thumbs down, and then push forward. Again, just enough tension to do the exercise. So let's do that last one again. I sink down with my back straight, pick up the box, lift it up straight, a little flick, and push out. So now we link all 3 of them together. Easy, right? No big deal. Just link them together, Jim, sure. So we got number 1, breathe in, out, in, out. So that's number 1. Number 2, inhale, exhale, in, out. Number 3, scoop up the box, lift up to your shoulders, push it away, and breathe out. Let's try the same thing again. So now my back is even more relaxed, more rounded. Then I straighten up, sink down. Inhale, exhale. Flick out, inhale, exhale, in, out. Scoop up, in, out, and push away. Now to finish the setup, I'm going to shift my weight to my right leg, slide in, make the big heart-shaped movement again. And as my arms straighten down, my legs straighten up. Do it again, same thing. And relax. So that way, if we had just been doing this type of an exercise where we're going up and down, and the blood's being drawn to the hips, the knees, the ankles, we stand up right away, sometimes we get lightheaded because the blood is not here. It is in the lower part of the body where we put tension. So to do this, when I shift, the arm gesture, along with the deep breath, help bring oxygen back up to your brain. So if you still get lightheaded, you need to take a seat and relax. Or grab the wall, or just relax. All right, so I'm not trying to talk as much this time so we can just kind of keep going with the exercise that we've been doing for the last 2 lessons. We've been doing a set of 8 pieces of brocade. So I'm going to start off with, we're going to spin the ball. One hand goes to the base of my head, the other goes to the lower back, just above your belt line. And gently turn your head to the left. As we release, each time it's going to be like I'm spinning this big ball. And then the hands come back to those spots, the base of the neck, base of the back. Turn your chin. When I come to the center, I'm releasing, but I'm inhaling. Now the tension goes to my shoulders a little bit, so I have a little tension, turn, and breathe out. Let your left shoulder just kind of sink down and relax. Same thing again, inhale. If you can time it, try to make them touch at the exact same time. And then breathe out. Inhale, touch at the same time, exhale. So you have a little coordination exercise there, plus a little timing. Now the next thing with that same exercise is going to be to dip your right shoulder so as to look kind of upward towards the ceiling. And then we straighten back up. Spin the ball the other direction with an inhale, turn, exhale. If that's fine, we take another deep breath, and I dip my left shoulder, and my eyes just kind of follow up the wall all the way up the ceiling, and then back. So always come back to the center position. Inhale. Relax the shoulder, exhale. Take another deep breath, dip to the right. Eyes just follow the ceiling as high up as you can go. So we're going to do each exercise anywhere from 5 to 10 times, and then we'll go on to the next one. So let's do one more. Breathe in, out, lean. Some of you might notice your chin doesn't stay by your shoulder when you start to do that dip. And then we come back. And because what happens, our body's kind of like a complex Rubik's Cube. You know, everybody remember the Rubik's Cube? You know, it's like that's pretty complex as it is, right? But in relation, in comparison to the human body and mind, it's a little trinket, really. But our body, each time we move one part of it, another part gets affected. So that's why these exercises are kind of unique. If we were running or walking, swimming, the body kind of gets used to that type of movement over time. You get muscle memory. It doesn't challenge the body. It doesn't challenge the mind after a certain point, unless you keep doing it harder or faster or heavier. When we do these exercises and you start moving one part of your body with another part, all the muscles start to connect across the body and get stretched. And that's where sometimes you'll try something, it's like, that's pretty easy. And I'll say, add this, add this. And by the time we get to the third or fourth thing, it's like, okay, I cannot do that. So a good example, I'm going to let everybody try one of these today to put what I just said in perspective. We're going to shift our weight to the right leg, so my shoulders are over the right foot. Meanwhile, this one has next to no weight on it. And then I'm going to bend my knee a little bit. I'm going to take my left hand as if I'm holding on to like a ball. My other hand goes to the elbow. Now I'm going to bring that arm together with my shoulders to the left side. Everybody doing good so far? Now the challenge is to try to lift your left leg off the ground. Now if you can lift your leg off the ground, the next thing to do is to try and turn. Okay. So Is that a good example? We started out, it's kind of easy. I mean, okay, got a little difficult. You start playing the mind game, the inner dialogue. You're not telling me, other than I hear a chuckle here and there, but in your thought pattern, you're going, okay, this is difficult. I got to balance, I got to shift my weight. All that talk that's going on is good because you're talking with yourself, and it's giving you something to focus on, as opposed to the rest of our activities throughout the day where our mind spins. We think about the weather, our health, finances, whatever else is in front of us and bothering us. When we do these exercises, it makes us think about our body and our thought process of what we need to do to accomplish it. So we got to do the other side. So now we would shift to the left, because you're going to notice one side is going to be better or worse than the other. So I'm centered over my left foot. This foot has a little weight. I sink down on the left side. Scoop up the hand, other hand by your elbow. Gently turn to the right. If you can, try to lift that leg. If you can point your toes, point your toes. And then if you can gently twist your spine so as to turn behind. So that's just one exercise. If we continue to do these exercises, what we'll do is every month it'll be a different set of breathing exercises, coordination exercises. That Chen style Tai Chi form, we would do so many movements, and the next month we might do a different set. Totally different type of exercise. It's all still martial arts movements for your health. And what we just did is one of 18. There's 18 exercises that we can do like that, where you're trying to balance, or another position is here. This is one variation, another variation, another variation. That's just one position that we'll do on both sides. So that gets you 2 exercises of the 18. And then we have here the feet equally spaced, tailbone tucked, hands out, and we twist like a spring. So not all the exercises are for balance, but they might be for flexibility or strength, coordination, whatever the case may be.